Hi everyone, it's Jing from Tropical Glow. I wanted to make a video about the legal process of buying real estate in Costa Rica step by step. This is a frequently asked question by all my clients, and it's very, very important information for you to know if you're looking to buy property in Costa Rica. The first step would be to get the property number or the Plano Catastro, which is a survey of the property. In order to buy any property in Costa Rica, first that property must have a registered Plano Catastro, which is a land survey that shows the legal boundaries, size, and geographical details of the property. It's a very essential document for any real estate transaction or legal process involving land. In order to buy property in Costa Rica, you must use a registered Costa Rican lawyer who can pull up the property information from the National Registry to check its status. The lawyer can check from the property number off the Plano Catastro all of the following information about the property. Most importantly, the lawyer is checking this information to make sure that the property is safe for purchase. It's very common for properties to have liens and mortgages, which is not an issue because that can be cleared on the day of closing the property. Once you get the green light from the lawyer that the property is safe to purchase, the next step would be to draft a purchase agreement, or in other words, make an offer. The purchase agreement is basically a binding document between the seller and buyer with confirmation that the house will be purchased with the following information: the agreed offer price, which is agreed upon verbally before the written offer, financing details, usually from owner financing or mortgages or transfer of their bank mortgages to the buyer, the initial deposit, which is usually 10% but can be negotiated, and most owners are quite flexible about it, as well as the date of closing. And usually we like to put this date a little bit later because if you do not buy the house before this date of closing, you lose your deposit. From there, the seller and the buyer sign this agreement and this house is officially off the market. Step 3 is the escrow verification process, basically to verify that your money is clean and not laundered. The escrow also serves as a third party that holds your money before you give the green light to pay all of the people that need to be paid, including the seller, the agent, the lawyer. As long as your money is clean and you have a way to prove it, you should be good. The escrow process takes about 2 weeks, and after your funds have been verified, you are now ready to send the funds to escrow. Normally, you send the funds from the country of your bank through normal wire transfer, which costs about $50 in the United States. Once the funds are sent, it takes about 3 business days for the funds to arrive. And once this fund arrives, you are ready to sign over the house. Keep in mind that the seller is the one responsible for paying the real estate agent. The buyer pays for the house and the closing costs, which includes the lawyer fees, government taxes, as well as the escrow. The closing cost is typically around 4% of the house's final sale price. The closing cost is charged by the lawyer, and the escrow cost is paid separately. The lawyer takes care of the transfer tax, the stamps, the legal fees, as well as your corporation if you want to buy the house under a corporation. There are many benefits to buying a house under limited corporation, such as protection of your personal assets, transference of ownership to other shareholders if there are more than one shareholder. However, corporations also incur annual costs of about $200 to $300, and you have to do a declaration of shareholders every year. Once you send your money to escrow, you are now ready to travel to Costa Rica to sign the final closing documents. Note that there are ways to do this without having to come to Costa Rica personally, and that is to sign over a power of attorney beforehand to somebody that's already in Costa Rica or will be traveling here during the time of closing. Once your money is sent to escrow, it is safe and it has made it. Escrow then divides the money into the payment for the seller, the agent, the lawyer, and sends the fund right after you sign the document. We usually scan a copy of the closing document after signing it, and escrow releases the funds. The funds can arrive within 5 seconds to about 5 hours. And now the final step, the notary registers your property under your name. The property usually gets registered within a week of the signing of the closing document. Thank you so much for listening, everyone. I hope the information was helpful. Good luck in your search for your dream property.